What's up, guys? I am back with a brand new weekly watch video. Every week, I'm going to show you guys what movies I watched Monday through Friday. A couple of my friends are doing the same thing. Julie Cassidy over there at Let's Talk Movies. Definitely go check her out. And HorrorFan34, my good buddy Thomas, is also doing it. So, I tried to strictly keep it horror related, okay? And I think I succeeded with this week. By the time you see these videos, it'll probably be like Sunday or Monday. So that's what I try to do and kind of take the weekend off a little bit, spend time with the family and all that. But yeah. So let's get started with my weekly watch. Starting with January 3rd, which is Monday. I watched The Ring. Okay, this is, of course, the American version. Now, I saw this before I saw Ringu. And I like Ringu, don't get me wrong. I prefer this version. And, because I like Naomi Watts. I like Brian Cox. I like the cast in this. And I remember seeing this in the movie theater thinking, wow, this is a cool idea. A girl in a well that comes after you watch a videotape, which is really weird. A really weird kind of videotape. I love the concept of it. So, I knew nothing about Ringu. And it stuck with me ever since. I think it's creepy. I like the vibe. I like the music. And just like the whole concept in general. I mean, that's a cool cover. Look at that. There's the well right there where she comes up. And it's kind of creepy because where I used to live by the cemetery, there was a creek forest area. And the well down there didn't look like this, but it was like a concrete base. And you could open the latch on top and look down. If you fell down there, you'd be in trouble. You couldn't get back up. So, in my mind, when I'd sleep at night after watching this film for the first time, I kept thinking about that creek area. So, it bothered me. I still think it holds up today. So, a lot of these films I'm just basically revisiting. So, that's the first one there on Monday. The other one I watched on Monday is Final Destination. Now, haven't seen this one in a while. When it comes to the Final Destination movies, Part 2 is probably my favorite. But this one is definitely my next favorite because I love the whole plane crash thing. Devon Sawa was great. Ali Larter's in this. Kerr Smith. The whole thing about accidents happening. Death is coming after you. You can't cheat death, otherwise it will eventually win. Really cool concept. And like I said, the whole plane crash... I've ridden in a plane probably 3 or 4 times in my life, and it is kind of terrifying in a way, at least for me. But yeah, it's crazy what happens on the plane. It's just really, really cool. So those are the 2 movies that I watched on January 3rd. Now we're moving on to January 4th, which is Tuesday. I watched a Roger Corman classic, and that is Humanoids from the Deep. This is the Shout Factory DVD, which says Roger Corman's Cult Classics. Now, basically, this is kind of like a movie about a fish-like humanoid creature. Well, there are a lot of them. These creatures with like mutant DNA, they rise from the ocean to mate with the local women. Okay, and it shows a woman right there on the cover. And these creatures kind of look like, they look like the Gill Man or the creature from the Black Lagoon mixed with like, I don't know, just some creature from like a B movie. The costumes were really good and the effects were good. It says they're not human, but they hunt human women, not for killing, but for mating. So there's a really cool carnival scene that happens where a bunch of creatures come out and basically start wreaking havoc. So, I don't know, it's different, but I do like it. I think it still holds up today. The other one I watched on Tuesday is Brightburn, which is basically like a Superman horror movie. What would happen if Superman basically went rogue, used his powers for, bad, and not or used his powers for evil and not good. Now, this was really fun. I really enjoyed this one. You have the Gunn family. You have James Gunn, who was a producer, and Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn wrote this film. And I don't know if this was based on a comic or not, but I never read anything about it. But it was really good. You have Elizabeth Banks in it, Matt Jones, David Denman. Really, really interesting. I love how it is rated R with a lot of blood and guts and just really cool stuff that happens when he uses his powers. But yeah, just very, very interesting. I always loved this when I first saw it. So the other one that I watched, or wait, so that was Tuesday. Moving on to January 5th, Wednesday, I watched Unfriended. I think this movie's underrated. I mean, this whole thing takes place on a computer, and you're basically seeing all these friends Skype each other, where they're talking on like a Skype call, and then this thing shows up basically as anonymous or whatever, and they can't delete it. They can't get rid of it, and basically what it is it's a ghost of this girl who died. And it's basically her revenge plot on all these kids for what they did to her. She was bullied and made fun of and all that stuff, and she basically comes back to get her revenge. I liked it. I didn't care for Dark Web, but this one I think is good. I definitely think this one it's different enough where I think it was a good idea, and they executed it very well. The other one I watched on Wednesday, January 5th, is The Human Centipede. Now, of course, this is a rewatch of this. I haven't seen this in a long time. This is a messed up movie directed by Tom Six. I actually think the second movie is more messed up than this one, but the concept of a guy, the scientist who wants to create a centipede. He has this obsession on basically connecting three people together where the front person eats and it goes through their stomach, intestines, comes out their ass and goes through the mouth of the other person. It's weird. It's just so weird, but it's also interesting in the name of like science, because what he tries to do here is just scientific in a way, but it's gross. It's interesting. I don't know. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like this film. And I was very, very surprised how graphic. I mean, they don't really go as far as showing you everything, but the sounds that they make and the noises really makes you use your imagination on what's going on. The second movie kind of goes all out, though. They really show a lot of stuff. But yeah, this is a movie that I don't think many people would like watching over again. That's why I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, it's definitely still sick. Okay, moving on to Thursday, January 6th, I watched one of my favorite Kevin Bacon movies, and that is Stir of Echoes. This movie is definitely a creepy one. It's got great music. Kevin Bacon is awesome in this. I like the ghost stuff that happens, and basically this movie about where he gets hypnotized. Kevin Bacon gets hypnotized, and it opens a doorway to how he starts seeing this woman in his apartment, this girl, and that she appears to him, and she tries to like reach out to him and talk to him, and he starts getting seeing stuff and hallucinating, and then he tries to find out what this girl wants. Like, why is she there? Why is she appearing? And it's very interesting. Like, there's a twist that happens where you don't realize who's involved in her disappearance. Like, you don't even know when you watch this until the very end. But very, very cool movie. I still think it's creepy today. Now, this is definitely a revisit, and I'm going to tell you why my mind has changed on this movie. So, the other one I watched on January 6th, Thursday, is Hostel, directed by Eli Roth. When I first saw this movie, I thought it was okay. After some viewings after that, I thought it was just kind of dumb. It kind of relied on basically to be all like gory and shocking and all that stuff. But after watching it again, I appreciate this movie a lot more because you have three guys who go backpacking. One is writing a thesis. The other one is trying to, basically hook up for some kind of story or whatever. And he's, they're trying to live life and discover new experiences and stuff like that. They go to this hostel and they want to get women. They want to basically sleep with women and be able to live and tell about it and write about it and all that stuff. And stuff starts going wrong. They get drugged. Their friends start disappearing one by one. And at this factory where these rich people, pay to basically do whatever they want to somebody. They can shoot them. They can kill them somehow. Like whatever way to kill them, whatever way they want to, they are granted that. And so basically, these three guys are victims and they don't even know it. And that's the scary thing. Over in Europe, I think they go to Slovakia. I think that's where they go. And, it's crazy. Like some of the stuff that they do, it's the whole factory setting. The whole third act is great. And what's his name? I forgot his name. Jay Hernandez. Underrated actor right there. He's been in a lot of movies. He was in Lakeview Terrace. He was in Suicide Squad as Diablo. But in this movie, he is a hero. Like, I love the stuff that happens in the third act. His character does this 180. Just turns into this guy who just wants to survive. It's just really, really good. I really enjoyed this time around, and I definitely like the second movie too. Third movie, not so much. All right, so coming up on Friday, which is January 7th, I watched one of my favorite movies of all time, and not only that, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and that is The Descent, directed by Neil Marshall. Fantastic movie with Shauna McDonald, where basically these girls go, what do they call that, spelunking or whatever, what is it called? Well, they go cave diving, basically. I think that, I don't know, it's a sport, I guess, in a way, an extreme kind of sport, which I would never do because I don't want to go underground and go cave diving in these little tight spaces and get stuck. To me, that's stupid, but whatever. To each their own. If that gives you a thrill, go for it. They go to the Appalachian Mountains, and they discover this new cave system that has not been explored. They go down in there, they get stuck, or basically the entrance caves into where they can't go that way. So they have to keep going forward, not knowing where they're going because it's not mapped out. While they're going through there, they realize that there's these creatures down there that are stalking them, and these creatures are hunting them like one by one, and they have to survive and try to find a way out. Fantastic. Not only do you have these creatures, which are creepy and scary, but you have the caves where it's dark. You have to preserve your battery life and the lights, and then try to squeeze through these tiny holes and cracks and crevices to try to find a way out, because there might not be a way out. It's terrifying. It's a terrifying environment. I would just die right away looking at a wall, knowing that I can't get around it, underneath it. It would kill me right away. Who cares about the creatures? I would just die from shock. So, fantastic movie. I hate part 2, but this one is great. And the last movie that I watched on January 7th, Friday, I was kind of in a James Wan mood because I love *Malignant* so much. I wanted to revisit my favorite James Wan film, and that is The Conjuring. Clap, 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 clap. This movie is crazy. It is creepy. It is great. James Wan is probably, right now, my favorite horror director. He knows his stuff. He knows intense moments. He knows how to film action. He knows horror, okay? You got Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, Lily Taylor, who I really liked from the movie Ransom. that was the very first movie I saw her in, was Ransom. And then, of course, she was in The Haunting with Liam Neeson. Of course, she was in, I think, Leatherface. Big deal there. But she really, really gave a great performance in this movie. But it's basically about the Warrens. You know, they go investigate this house that's haunted by this, like, witch demon. And, you know, all this haunting stuff starts happening. Just great, great environment and creepy atmosphere in this film. So, yeah, this is based on the true case files of the Warrens. Hands down my favorite James Wan film. So that is the thing that I left off with on Friday. And what a good movie to leave off with. So that is my weekly watch from Monday to Friday, January 3rd to the 7th. And so yeah, join me next week, which will be probably next weekend when you'll see my next weekly watch. And I try to make it 2 movies a day. That's what I try to do anyway. And it's not always going to be horror. And I'm going to try to mix it up here and there. Maybe I'll have like a superhero movie week or an action movie week or, you know, maybe a Stallone week or something like that. Who knows? I'm just going to mix it up and things like that. So hope you guys enjoy these weekly watches. And like I said, stay tuned, subscribe for more content. Hope you're enjoying my videos. And I'll see you in the next one.